you doing, reader? I am the report card reader, and you guys are the readers. Readers, gang. So that's what we're going to call ourselves, actually. Readers, hashtag readers. Yes, I'm going to put that in the bio. So anyway, just decided that let me come on here and explain what the fudge is happening, or what the fudge has been happening since last year to my Instagram account. Because I've been the butt of the joke. Like when I piss off someone, people come to my DMs and they're like, no wonder you don't have followers, no wonder you're not growing. Oh God. I'm like, if you only knew that which has been happening behind the scenes, you guys would give me a cup for resilience, because I think if it was someone else, they would have just thrown in the towel. Let me try and explain how I ended up, or how Instagram ended up being my content career, and why I feel like this is just not working for me and them. Like, our relationship is sort of kind of damaged and ruined, you know. It's literally turning out to be a very toxic relationship. When I got into this, I knew that whatever I'm doing will piss, and it will still piss a lot of people off, only because it's not really me exposing the dirt, it's just me giving opinions on things that, you know, you're sitting there and thinking maybe what you're saying is true. So I had already anticipated that maybe, just maybe, it might just not be what it's, you know, that's why I call it Henny, because it's not for everyone. We all can consume my kind of content, and it's Gucci, you know, it's Gucci. It was a very cautious decision for me. It was very deliberate, because I was like, most of the people who are into blogging, first of all, are men, and we know who they are. Like, we know their names, and most of them who are very controversial with cutthroat opinions, we can handpick them. And so when we got into 2019, that's when I started, you know, doing entertainment commentary fully, and then not do it as a blog, but do it as a vlog, like put up the video blogs. Is because I was like, this is now the future, this is where we are going, and it's not even about the stories. Then that is something else that I think I want people to appreciate. It's not even about artist so and so did this. It's about the skill and how the story is told, and just about the commentary as a whole. So from there, I grew the numbers gradually, because remember, I had my 10K dead followers from Instagram because of that radio gig that I was working back then. But they were just there, you know, it was really nothing, because I was not posting anything serious. And then maybe I'd post a photo or a video and get like, what, 200, 150 likes or views or whatever. And that really didn't bother me, because I was like, now I'm serious and I want to do this thing for sure, for she's there, you know, I want to be serious with this shit. I'm gonna make you mad. Okay, so anyway, I started doing that, and then eventually the numbers started growing. It was very gradual. The growth was, it was not at super radical, at SG, I sleep, wake up, because I'm not and will never be a sensationalist. That is just not my mode of presentation. For me, I would rather quantify my growth and say that today I had 5 followers, the next day I have 50, the next day maybe I have 150. So eventually, I was growing at a rate of, let's say, 150 followers in a week. So that means if this week I was probably at, let's say, 30K, the next week I'd be at maybe 30.1, 30.2, 30.3. So now we are doing what? This is now 2020, yes? And the growth rate is good, still very gradual, slow, people are trickling in, and I didn't have a problem with that. So this is where my toxic relationship, this is where my relationship with that handler of mine took a turning for the worst. So what happened, now this is March, yeah? I think there was like a mass reporting on my account or something because of something I had said about somebody, and it is anticipated that, you know, you piss people off. That much I appreciate. So they started mass reporting the account, up until Instagram sent me a message telling me your account is being monitored, and now if we find it suspicious, it's going to be chopped. You're gonna be chopped and screwed. So I said, polite. Now, what happened is I was at 69.8K followers, and that, because now I've been shadow banned. This is how you know you've been shadow banned, guys. Like, when someone types out your name, let's say Mkamburi Chigogo, you don't really see the account that I am, you know, that I want you to see. You see any other account, like maybe let's say I have another backup account and I'm Mkamburi Chigogo, that is what will be first. And then secondly will be someone else, another Mkamburi, and then by the time you get to my account, you're like, I didn't see that account, so whatever, man. And then the people who follow you actively are the ones who only see your content. So it's not been recommended to other guys who have no idea that you actually exist. So what happens in anyone's life, followers are there and followers are there. And the number of unfollowers usually is, people will unfollow you because that is how people consume content. But if you've been recommended in the feed, that means whether someone unfollows or doesn't follow, especially if you have active content, like you post on a regular, your content is not, it's content that's consistent, and you know that this is content that has the ability to bring in crowds, people will of course follow. So what happened is I was shadow banned, and that meant only the people who follow me would see my content. And of course, because it's niche content, it's content that pisses a lot of people off and maybe entertains a lot of people. What happens is the people who would unfollow, I don't have others to replace them. The unfollowers, no one is replacing them with followers. And of course, these statistics, everyone, if you have an Instagram account that is maybe creators or business, you get to see these statistics, and they bring everything to your table, that these are the people who are unfollowed, these are the people who are following you from this and this place. So the guys moved, so the number moved from 69.8 went to 65.4k, and I stayed at that point. It's not even funny. I stayed at that point, really, guys, as in forever. I would probably get, guys, and you know what, the thing with this particular thing that I do, yeah, it's not one of those things where you tell people that go follow. It's not a picture type of this is like content that, as I've said, is niche, and it will probably piss you off. So I always prefer people just find the page for yourselves, and maybe if this is content, or if you like the personality, or if you like whatever I do, then stick around. But easy to the CGO shout out or CG go follow, my god, it has just never worked for this kind of thing I run. So I mark time at 65.4k. Of course, the bullies had increased at this point. Guys were coming at me fast and fast and thick. They were saying, now look at you, you're not even growing. What's happening? People now are unfollowing you because your content is ABC and D. And I'm like, no, honey, simmer down. It's because of the shadow ban. And then I don't know if it was lifted or whatever, but then I moved to 68 point something, and a very short period of time. So maybe they felt sorry for me, and they were like, let's lift this thing. Okay, then I literally, so that tried moving a bit fast, and then I got to 68.8k, and then the mark timing began. So I did 68.8k. I think some people followed, went to 69, then again they unfollowed. So that has been the trend. So the 68.8k, in fact, I've just been looking at myself and I'm like, girl, you are really resilient. If you really didn't stop posting, like with everything that's happening, you know, and then guys are like, you see, I think by now, if you really, guys are like, you know, you see, if really by now you are that much of a popping content creator, like the gossiper, you know, right now you'd be chopping numbers upon numbers. Okay, so we get into 2020. I'm still at 68.8k because I've stayed on those two numbers for so long, and I've mastered them in my head. And now I think I'm actually going to go back to that number, or maybe worse. I just don't know. Man. So anyway, we do 2020, and then I sort of have like a couple of people follow up until I'm at 70k. This is January, February, March. So I moved to 70.1k. Then the 70.1k, I've stayed at 70.1k since I think January something. It's been 70, so it only moves 70.2, 70.3, 70.1, and then now today in the morning I wake up and I am actually at 70k.